Cubs baseball on Comcast Sportsnet, part of the NBC Sports Group.
It's always a big one when the Cards are in town. Matt Garza looks to keep his Wrigley magic alive. Next. We greet you from Wrigley Field on a clear and chilly night. A great night for Fleece Glove Giveaway night here at Wrigley Field. Tonight, the Cubs welcome in their top rival, the defending World Series champion St. Louis Cardinals, here on Comcast Sportsnet. And hi again, everyone. Alongside Bob Brenly, I'm Len Casper. It's been tough for the Cubs. They've lost all 5 series to start the year. The Cardinals have not lost a series. And Bob, even without Albert Pujols, this Cardinal offense just keeps rolling along.
Boy, do they ever, Len. I mean, they're among the league leaders in just about every important offensive category. We're going to show you this graphic here. Carlos Beltran has been a huge addition for the Cardinals. Yadier Molina has become more of an offensive player, and David Freese picked up right where he left off in last year's postseason.
Now, having said that, they are without a couple of key guys. Lance Berkman is on the disabled list. Center fielder John Jay day-to-day with a shoulder injury, and look at their starts.
Well, you know the Cardinals are anxiously awaiting the return of these 2 guys to the lineup. This is going to be a very good team all season long.
And we have a very good pitching matchup for you tonight. A left-hander for St. Louis, Jaime Garcia, and Matt Garza, who's been very good at Wrigley Field.
Well, Matt Garza likes pitching in the cold weather here at Wrigley, taking advantage of that wind that once again is blowing straight in from center field. And Jaime Garcia, a real crafty left-hander, has a real good straight changeup. Those are usually the kind of pitchers that give the Cubs offense some problems.
So the lefty Garcia for the Cardinals, the right-hander Garza for the Cubs. We'll have Cubs baseball. Cardinals in town for 3 starting tonight.
Sportsnet is brought to you in part by your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, 75 years being right here in Illinois means no one's closer to your wellness. Experience wellness everywhere. Liberty Mutual Insurance, responsibility. What's your policy? Toyota. Right now, you can get a lot for less at your local Toyota dealer, official partner of the Chicago Cubs. The new wireless receiver from AT&T Uverse. Visit att.com/freeyourtv. Rethink possible. BMO Harris Bank, helping money make sense. BMO Harris Bank, NA member FDIC. And by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com.
Welcome back to Wrigley Field. It's cool but clear up skies above. That's good news. And the wind not blowing nearly as hard as it did over the weekend as the Cardinals and Cubs kick off a 3-game series. Matt Garza and his battery mate Giovanni Soto heading to the Cubs dugout. Cubs dropped 2 of 3 over the weekend to the Cincinnati Reds, and the Cardinals off to a great start. They have won 2 of 3 in every series. Plus, remember, they won that 1-game set at Miami to open up Marlins Park. So Mike Matheny off to a good start as the new Cardinals manager. And we talked about the Cardinal injuries, and how about a couple of them back-to-back days? John Jay not in the lineup tonight because he banged into the wall on Thursday in St. Louis.
I fought the wall and the wall won. John Jay going straight back into center field. That's usually when you get injured, is when you don't realize how close you are to the wall. John Jay thought he had a few more steps, and Friday it was Skip Schumacher.
Right off the disabled list, this was the second pitch of the bottom of the first in Pittsburgh. He had a right oblique injury that had him on the DL, and this kind of knocked the wind out of him. Schumacher is in the lineup tonight for Mike Matheny, and they're without Lance Berkman, who did briefly come back, but the strained left calf eventually put him on the disabled list. And it doesn't seem to matter who they put in the lineup, they just keep winning. Let's get Mike Matheny's Cardinal lineup. Their Southwest starting lineup. Rafael Furcal off to an excellent start. We mentioned Schumacher in center. Matt Holliday trying to get it going. Carlos Beltran, 5 home runs already. You have David Freese, their World Series hero, at third. Yadier Molina, the catcher. Carpenter, big series against the Cubs in St. Louis. Tyler Green plays second, and Garcia is the pitcher.
And here's how the Cubs will line it up defensively tonight. Alfonso Soriano in left. Reed Johnson in center field tonight. David DeJesus, who's rapidly learning the tricks of right field here at Wrigley. He'll be out in right. Joe Mather at third base tonight. Starlin, Castro, and Darwin Barney once again up the middle of the field. Jeff Baker getting the nod over at first base against a left-handed pitcher. Giovanni Soto behind the dish tonight. And our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher Matt Garza for the Cubs.
They head out to the field.
Well, then we documented the Cardinals' offense and the numbers that they've put up in the early going this season. Their pitching staff ranks 4th in the National League in ERA. We didn't even mention their defense. They've only made 8 errors so far this season, setting the pace in the National League.
Garza with a sub-2 ERA at Wrigley Field over his last 13 outings. As you get a look at his numbers, he is coming off a loss at Miami. His last time out was 5 days ago, and his career best 5-game winning streak come to an end. He's facing the Cardinals for the first time since a 3-0 win here at Wrigley Field on August 20th of last year. Let's get the umpires for you. The crew chief, Tim Cheetah, 26-year veteran, is behind the plate. He's worked 3 World Series, a Minnesota native. You see on the bases Conroy, Nelson, and Bill Welke.
Almost feels like a heat wave here tonight, Len. As you mentioned, that wind not blowing hardly at all right now. Rather brisk during batting practice. Players were all bundled up. Fleece hoodies during batting practice, but the wind has nearly stopped completely. So as we all know, this ballpark is going to play a lot different tonight than it did over the weekend.
One final from earlier today, doubleheader in New York. The Giants beat the Mets 6-1. Tim Lincecum got his first win of the season. And he only went 5 innings, but he beat Miguel Batista. Buster Posey, Nate Scherholtz homered for the Giants.
And Lincecum really had to labor in that ballgame. Threw 108 pitches in 5 innings of work.
Well, Dale Swaim hoping Matt Garza can get the Cubs off to a good start in this series. The Cubs have won one game in every series but one when they were swept in Miami last week. So the switch hitting Rafael Furcal ready. Garza's first pitch is a fastball for a strike.
At some point in this series, at some point probably in the ball game tonight, you'll see Rafael Furcal try that slug bunt. Half square around and half swing at the ball, try to draw the third baseman in and then hit it softly to the left side of the infield, get it past the third baseman in front of the shortstop and try to beat it out for an infield hit.
So milestones for Furcal. Yesterday was his 1,500th career game, and he's also sitting on 999 career runs. Mather in on the grass at third, and the 2-1 pitch is a strike. 2-2. Cubs did a good job against Furcal in St. Louis recently. He went just 1 for 14. And a full count 3-2 with Schumacher on deck.
Series of fastballs. Matt Garza tries to come down and in with the slider and get the swinging strike from Furcal, but he recognized the pitch and was able to check his swing in time.
Slider is punched foul.
When we talk about a defensive two-strike swing, this is exactly what we're talking about. That ball was nearly past Rafael Furcal. He's kind of flipped the bat out there with a lot of hands, fouled it off to the third base side to stay alive.
And another foul. This one will get into the upper deck. Have been meeting since 1892. The Cubs lead the all-time series, having won 1,167 times. Cardinals with 1,106 wins. Pulled to right. DeJesus will make the catch. A couple steps in front of the warning track. Here is Skip Schumacher. Came off the DL a few days earlier than originally planned because of the Cardinals' injury situation. Got hurt in his first game. He did pinch hit yesterday and singled and scored a run. He's 5 for 8 against Matt Garza. Probably won't see John Jay at all tonight. If at all, it would be as a pinch runner. So much about what David Freese did in the postseason. He was the NLCS and World Series MVP. Albert Pujols had a 3-homer game in the World Series. Well, Skip Schumacher hit 600 in the division series, and Bobby played outfield in 6 of the 7 World Series games and made 3 starts after only making 5 in the outfield all year. So it was a team effort. Swing and a miss. 2-2.
And that's the kind of thing that we expected to see from a Tony La Russa managed ball club. He loves those versatile players, guys that he can plug in all over the field, especially late in the game when he started making pitching changes and double switches. He needed to have a number of players that could play different positions. Still not quite sure about Mike Matheny. Doesn't appear to use his bullpen in quite the exaggerated fashion that Tony did, but still very early in the season. I think any manager likes to have guys, like a Skip Schumacher, like a Joe Mather, guys that, if necessary, you can plug them in at third base, bring him in as a pinch runner, pinch hitter, play him in center field. Jack of all trades. Every team needs a couple.
So back-to-back 3-2 counts to start the game. And a ground ball is just foul as it bounced over first, but in foul territory. Matt Garza's 28 years old, 6'4", 215 pounds. Cubs got him from Tampa Bay in January of 2011. And another 3-2 pitch. Fastball bounce to Castro. So 2 away. Good to see Starlin in the lineup tonight after getting hit near the left elbow by a pitch yesterday. Thought he broke his arm at first, but then everything settled down. And well, you'd hate to be without your everyday shortstop and your best hitter for any stretch here early.
He said by the time he ran around the bases and got back to his position defensively, he almost had forgotten he'd been hit.
Now Matt Holliday, who comes in at just 197. But he does have 3 game-winning RBIs. So even the guys who are struggling are still contributing.
I was just thinking, as we've seen a couple of deep counts to start this ball game against Matt Garza, they don't walk a lot as a ball club, but they do work a lot of deep counts. Garza's had a pitch count high of 119 so far this season. That came a couple of starts ago against the Brewers. I'm sure a lot of fans saw him with 8 2/3 innings in the book. All he needed to do was toss the ball to Brian Lair at first. Instead, he fired it up on the concourse.
And a line drive base hit for Holliday. Keep the inning alive for Carlos Beltran.
Holliday, you mentioned, Len, struggling a little bit, coming up with some big knocks. He gets to a 95-mile-an-hour heater off the plate inside right there. Because of that big leg kick that you saw, sometimes it takes Matt Holliday a little bit longer to get in sync early in the season, and throughout the season there will be times where he's a little tardy getting that front foot down, maybe a little early getting the foot down. Because of his mechanics, it lends itself to some mid-season slumps.
Excellent start to his Cardinal career for Carlos Beltran. Only Matt Kemp has more home runs in the National League than Beltran's 5. Kemp has hit 9.
All 5 from the left side of the plate for the switch hitting Beltran.
And he loves him some Wrigley Field. One ball, one strike. Short lead by Holliday. And the pitch is just off the inside corner.
Good spot to miss. Matt Garza trying to nip that inside corner with a fastball. And if you're going to miss in your favor. Get in there a little bit further, so if Beltran does swing at that pitch, the likelihood of him jamming himself and putting in play weakly are pretty good.
We mentioned Matt Kemp. We get a daily stats pack from the Cubs. And it's probably about 20 pages thick. In the back of the packet you have the National League and American League department leaders, batting and pitching. And I look at the offensive numbers here. Matt Kemp leading. I'm just going to go across the categories left to right. Batting average, home runs, RBIs, multi-hit games, runs, hits, total bases. I don't think I've ever seen that. Foul tip, strike 3. One guy leading all the major categories. Matt Kemp. Cubs coming up after the Cardinals fail to score. Starting lineup written out by manager Dale Swain against the lefty Jaime Garcia. David DeJesus is in right. Darwin Barney back in there at second base. Castro at short. Soriano still looking for his first extra base hit. Baker gets a lot of starts against lefties. Soto catching. You have Reed Johnson in center. Joe Mather in for Ian Stewart. And Matt Garza, the pitcher.
Quick look at the Cardinals defensively. It'll be Holiday, Schumacher, and Beltran across the outfield, left to right. Freeze for call, Greene and Carpenter third to first across the infield. Yadier Molina behind the plate as usual, and he'll be receiving pitches from left-hander Jaime Garcia.
Coming off back-to-back 13-win seasons. 6'2", 215 pounds, only 25 years old. Has always put up good numbers against the Cubs, at least early on in his career, and off to a good start this year.
Likes his cutter, likes that straight changeup.
Likes his red glove.
Yeah.
0-1 to DeJesus. Looked like the cutter. And for call, will make the catch.
As you saw from his season stats there, he's given up his share of base hits this year. He's walked a few guys, but in his last start against the Reds, he had that ground ball double play working. Induced the Reds to hit into 4 twin killings in his last start.
Darwin Barney takes a strike. I like Tim Cheetah's strike call. Foul back of the plate. Garcia was born in Reynosa, Mexico, went to Sherryland High School in Mission, Texas.
I like Tim Cheetah's strike call a lot better in the top half of the inning.
Yeah, that's true.
Not quite as much in the bottom half.
Diving stop, David Freeze. Safe at first. Probably the only time, Bob, sliding at first is a good idea, as he kind of got under the tag of Carpenter.
He actually didn't slide until after he hit the bag. Darwin Barney, a nice play by David Freese just to get to that ball, but his throw across the diamond is high to Matt Carpenter, and in his haste to get to that bag, Darwin Barney busting it down the line, reaching out hard for that bag at first, lost his balance and sliding up the right field line.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
And even though Darwin running as hard as he could down that first baseline, you saw him nearly halfway down the line looking to his left to see what David Freese was doing.
Ball gets through the legs of Molina. Barney can jog on down to second.
And it's a minimal thing, but it definitely is going to take a little bit of add a little bit of time to that sprint down the first baseline if you're looking to your left halfway down the line. Dave McKay and the rest of the Cubs coaching staff all the way back to the first day of spring training have tried to impress upon these guys. Just run straight through. Focus on where your target is and run straight through.
Curveball strike. Castro with a 10-game hitting streak has reached base safely in 55 of his last 56 games.
And watching Starlin as he went through his pregame workout today, both offensively and defensively, no signs whatsoever of any lasting effect other than that elbow guard you see on his left elbow. Boy, he was very fortunate. That pitch could have done a lot more damage where it was headed. That's what we're talking about, the hit by pitch in the ball game yesterday. Johnny Cueto runs a fastball up and in. Looked like it was headed for that left elbow, but he pulled his arm in quickly enough that he took the brunt of it off of the muscle in his left forearm.
Barney takes off and Castro hits a ground ball to short. And the throw to first not in time by Furcal. Pat Listash also was helping Barney, who I was wondering if he was going to just keep on running around third. As it is, they're at the corners on a couple of infield hits.
I think on that particular play, the fact that Darwin Barney was running and Starlin Castro cues that ball right off the end of the bat kind of fooled Rafael Furcal. He laid back an extra step. He checks the runner at third, and Castro busting it down that first baseline just beats the throw.
First and third, one out. And it's Alfonso Soriano.
And then we know for a fact that the Cubs have tried to be more aggressive on the bases this year, take advantage of the opposing defense if they're not paying any attention. But tonight is one night you've got to be extra careful with Yadier Molina behind the plate. Not only in attempting to steal bases, but in the kind of secondary lead you take off a base. Molina loves to throw behind the runners. Loves to pick at all the bases. And so far this year, only 6 stolen base attempts against him, and he's caught half of them.
And a fly ball to left. Holiday coming over. He will make the catch. And his throw will go towards second as Barney scores on a sacrifice fly. And it's 1-0.
Good extension on his swing that time by Alfonso Soriano. You see the two base runners, Darwin Barney at third, immediately goes back to tag, while Starlin Castro over at first goes halfway to see if that ball was going to get down or whether Matt Holliday was indeed going to make the catch. It looked like Soriano was able to extend his swing a little bit that time. Might have been fooled somewhat by the delivery from Garcia, but still got it in the air to left field for an RBI.
See Dave McKay at the bottom of your screen. He knows Yadier Molina as well as anybody, certainly in the Cubs dugout. Prior to this year, McKay had seen every game Molina had ever played. Jeff Baker. Ball one.
You know, in talking about the Molina pickoffs at the bases, especially at first base, he played so many games with Albert Pujols down there at first base. They didn't even really need a sign. It was, almost a mental telepathy. Just a little nod of the head, a shrug of the shoulder, and a return.
And they've got Castro here. It'll go 1-3 to 4 on the caught stealing. But the Cubs get the lead on the sacrifice fly by Soriano. It's 1-0 after 1. Move. That's one each day on this homestand. Michael Bowden, who was acquired for Marlon Byrd over the weekend, is now in the Cubs bullpen. Rodrigo Lopez designated for assignment, and if he clears through the waiver process, he will remain in the Cubs organization, you hope, at AAA. There's Michael Bowden, who is from the western suburbs of Chicago, lives in Oswego. Took him about an hour to get to the park today. He was sitting at home for several days after being cut from the Red Sox roster. And Bob, he admitted that he had actually seen the reports of a possible Marlon Byrd trade to the Red Sox, and he and his wife were thinking, wow, could you imagine? I could pitch for the team I grew up rooting for. And then it happened. So he is on cloud 9, and he is available tonight. And personally, I hope Rodrigo Lopez does remain in the Cubs organization. Probably would start at AAA if he does, and we would probably see him back here at some point this season.
We saw last season what happens when you don't have starting pitching depth. And Rodrigo Lopez, a guy that can fill a number of roles with a ball club. I agree. I hope he does go back down to Iowa and continue to pitch down there, just in case.
Strike to David Freese. It's 2-2. We saw him for one game in that series in St. Louis because of finger irritation. Called strike 3.
Some good fastballs that time from Matt Garza on the inner part of the plate. You got problems with your hand, your finger, your wrist. That's where you want to challenge a guy. Just could not pull the trigger.
Now Molina, the catcher. By the way, Marlon Byrd is in the Red Sox lineup tonight. The Red Sox are in Minnesota. Byrd is hitting 9th and playing center. And the Red Sox lead 1-0 in the second. John Lester versus Jason Marquis. And one on Molina, who knocked in 6 runs against the Cubs in that 3-game series at Busch Stadium.
I think Molina's 2 different hitters. If he has runners in scoring position, he's a lot more willing and more likely to hit the ball to the opposite field. If he's at the plate in a situation like this, he more looks to pull the ball.
Deflected off the pitching hand of Garza, picked up by Castro, and he gets Molina at first. That'll go 1 to 6 to 3. Garza's all right.
A broken bat, soft liner back through the box. You see Garza to spin around against his own body. I'm not so sure he made contact with that or not. It was really close as he stuck out that bare hand. Yeah, he did. He deflected that just enough. The Castro's able to come across, scoop and throw all in one motion in time to get the Cardinals catcher.
So easy to say don't do that, Matt, but just about every pitcher does. It's reflexive.
Yep. I mean, you know, until this year when the Cubs started to play some exaggerated shifts up the middle of the field, if that ball got by you on the mound, there was a pretty good chance it was going to go through into center field for a base hit. But as we've seen in spring training and the early going of the regular season, more often than not, you're going to have one of your middle infielders playing close enough to the middle of the field to get to those softly hit balls.
Matt Carpenter filling in for the injured Lance Berkman. And man, did he fill in against the Cubs in St. Louis. First career homer, 7 hits, 7 RBIs in that series. And even in the cold weather, he goes without the batting gloves.
Very Mark Grace-like first baseman that doesn't use batting gloves.
Three and 1. I read an article about Carpenter the other day. I guess he has batting gloves because all the companies keep sending them, but he doesn't use them as he takes ball 4.
Well, we know one thing for sure, Len. If you had 18 ball players on the field that did not use batting gloves, the time of game would be cut in half.
Get real-time info, including pitcher gas gauge, stats, and tweets with Cubs in-game live only at csnchicago.com. Brought to you by Liberty Mutual. Tyler Greene wears the batting gloves and takes strike 1. He's playing second tonight. Able to hold up.
A lot of check swings early in the ball game for the Cardinals, which tells me that Matt Garza has some good late movement, especially on that slider low and away from the right-handed hitters.
Cardinals have outscored their opponent by 36 runs in their first 16 games. That's number 1 in the National League. The Rangers lead the majors in run differential at plus 52. Here's the throw as Carpenter takes off, and he is out. Nice play by Barney to take that bounced throw by Soto. And the inning comes to an end. Still 1-0 Cubs midway in the second.
to experience the hottest new area in Chicago sports. The all-inclusive Budweiser patio is now open at Wrigley Field. For more information and to purchase tickets for the 2012 Cubs season, call 773-404-4200 or visit Cubs.com/premier.
All in all, a nice night. The wind has died down. It is chilly, but looks like everybody came prepared. It's always fun when the Cardinals and Cubs get together here at Wrigley. 1-0 on an Alfonso Soriano sacrifice fly in the first. Jeff Baker on the first pitch rounds out to Rafael for call. Awful weather in Pittsburgh, so the Rockies and Pirates were postponed tonight. They'll have a makeup doubleheader on Wednesday. Jamie Moyer was supposed to start tonight, and he will go tomorrow night. 50% chance of rain tomorrow night in Pittsburgh. And we always go to Pittsburgh, it rains at some point. One and one to Soto. It's a strike. Garcia working quickly. Good changeup to make it 1-2. Topped back toward the mound, and Garcia will get him. And we want to wish a happy 5th birthday to Atticus Finch Gurrell. Huge Cub fan for 5 years. So are his parents, Jay and Melanie. Reed Johnson getting the start at center. It was Tony Campana yesterday. Dale Swaim will mix and match in center after the trade of Marlon Byrd. But what that usually means is you'll mix and match until somebody just grabs the spot. I mean, if Reed Johnson goes 4 for 4 tonight, he might be in the lineup again tomorrow. There's an opportunity.
Yeah, no question about it. You mix and match depending on past history against an opposing pitcher or an opposing team. But as you said, if somebody gets red hot and decides to take charge of that job for the time being, Dale's all for it.
Molina wants this one down. It was up a little bit, and that backs up Freeze. Long throw right on the money. 3 ground outs here in the second. We'll head off to the third. The Cubs lead 1-0 early from Wrigley. Tomorrow, the Cubs and Cards are back in action here on Comcast Sportsnet. Tune in as Jeff Samardzija takes the mound against the Cubs division rivals. Coverage begins at 6:30 with Subaru Cubs pregame live. Cubs and Cardinals tomorrow night at 6:30 on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend. It'll be a rematch. Samardzija beat Adam Wainwright in St. Louis. Well, you certainly hope the guy with the U shirt likes the guy in the B shirt, because they have to sit next to each other all night.
Yeah, we've talked about it before when the Pirates come to town too. If you don't sit in the proper order, you could be rooting for the Bucks. It's not good.
Tyler Greene was at the plate when Matt Carpenter was thrown out at second. He swings and misses.
I always felt that was a little bit of an advantage for a hitter. It's almost like getting a free preview. You get to get in that batter's box and see some pitches from the opposing pitcher, and even though you hate to see the inning come to an end with your teammate getting thrown out, it has to help you when you go back up there to continue your at bat in the next inning.
Foul tip, strike two. Garza looking for his 54th career win. He strikes out Tyler Greene.
Good heater tonight from Matt Garza. Just easy gas in the mid-90s. He just blew that one right past Tyler Greene. Inside part of the plate, middle of the thighs. That's normally a very hittable pitch, but Greene cannot catch up.
The pitcher Garcia has already knocked in a couple of runs this season. Two for 6 with a triple. Fly ball shallow left. And it's the shortstop Castro. 2 quick outs. The new Chicago Cubs baseball summer camps offer children ages 5 to 13 of all abilities the ultimate major league experience for 8 one-week sessions in 6 convenient locations around the Chicago area. Join fellow teammates for a week of top-notch baseball instruction, exclusive access, and unforgettable moments. Visit Cubs.com/camps to sign up your future Cub today. For call fly to right to start the game. Bob, you like the on this date segment that we like to drop in most days. Well, it was 98 years ago today Wrigley Field opened for business. It was called Weedman Park on April 23rd, 1914. And the Chicago Federals beat Kansas City 9-1. Art Wilson, the catcher for the Federals, with a 2-run homer off Chief Johnson.
Yeah, Art could rake.
I think it was a hanging slider. Nice play, Matt Garza. And a good toss to Jeff Baker to boot. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. 1-0 Cubs.
visit the Captain Morgan Club at Wrigley Field with more than 40 flat screens, great food, and Wrigley's largest outdoor patio. Come celebrate a Cubs win and join us for the Captain Morgan Club post-game party featuring great music and Wrigley's friendliest staff. For more information, including specials and private party options, call 773-404-4750.
Former Cardinal Joe Mather, third-round pick of St. Louis in 2001. And in the lineup for the Cubs, playing third tonight. 1 ball, no strikes. Fourth start, second at third base for Joe. Sharply hit ground ball through the hole and into left.
A lot of Joe Mather's base hits in spring training came to the left side of the field. He loves to pull the ball, has tremendous plate coverage. Top spin grounder just shoots through that left side into left field, or a leadoff single.
All right, let's see. Now Garza with that nice defensive play to in the top of the inning. Let's see if he can get a bunt down. These are the kinds of things, getting a sac bunt down here, that could maybe get him another inning or two and could get him a win. If Garza can help manufacture a run here in the third inning. Most managers don't expect their pitchers to hit a lick, but they do expect them to get down bunts. That's part of the gig. And Matt has worked very hard at it. Just hasn't had much success. That'll work.
Right.
Nicely done. His first sacrifice of the season.
You brought up a great point, Len. Pitchers that are able to do the little things. Obviously, their most important duty is to go out there on the mound and keep the other team off the board. But when you can get down a bunt or put the ball in play swinging away, field your position, your manager's more likely to give you the leeway late in a close ball game, let you take that one more at bat, stay in the game for one more inning, which sometimes makes the difference between a loss or a no decision and a victory.
I think a good example is Ryan Dempster. If the pitcher spot came up late in a game and you needed a bunt, he would probably get it. You don't have to remove Dempster to have a pinch hitter come in and lay down a bunt. In fact, Dempster's been used as a pinch hitter with the purpose of bunting.
It's a nice luxury to have as a manager in those game situations where you don't want to burn one of your position players just to go to the plate and put down a sacrifice bunt. But you have a pitcher available on your bench, one of your starters who's not scheduled to throw that day, and he's really good at it. You can save that position player, use him later in the ball game, maybe as a defensive replacement or a pinch runner or a pinch hitter in a key situation.
It's the 1-0 to DeJesus as Garcia pops the mid at 88. 1-1.
Garcia obviously had some garlic for lunch, didn't want to offend his catcher, so was very polite to talk into his glove there.
That's why, yeah. 1-1. A bouncer to Tyler Greene with Mather advancing to third. Pitch to Darwin Barney, fly ball, center field. Schumacher, no problem, and he one-hands it for the final out. So the Cubs cannot get Mather to the dish. They lead 1-0 at the end of 3.
Fourth Inning is brought to you by the new Doritos Locos Tacos from Taco Bell.
Cubs leading the Cardinals 1-0. That's not a good birthday. Well, they look like they're having fun. And finally a respite. Boy, that Red Series, surprised the flag stayed on the pole.
Oh, man, we got so used to leaning into the wind up here in the booth. When it finally stopped tonight, I almost fell forward into the upper deck. I'm sure the players enjoy this a lot more too. We talked about Darwin Barney telling us that mid-game this weekend he'd have to turn around between pitches and face into the wind. He got so cold and so tired of that wind blowing down the back of his neck, he had to turn around like a bison and face into the storm.
2, 3, and 4 for the Cards. Schumacher, Holiday, and Beltran. And that one is sprayed foul, out of play. Talk a lot about ground ball or fly ball pitchers, right? And Skip Schumacher is a big time ground ball hitter. He'll hit 3 ground balls for every fly ball. He's already grounded out once tonight. Swing and miss a whole lot.
Well, to quote Dirty Harry Callahan once again, a man has got to know his limitations. And Skip Schumacher's not the kind of guy that's going to hit a lot of home runs. He's probably going to make a lot of outs if he hits too many fly balls.
The one on the ground deflects off the glove of Baker for a base hit. Second hit for St. Louis. That's a leadoff single.
Line drives and ground balls, the order of the day for Skip Schumacher. Nice effort by Baker. He can only deflect it, unfortunately, away from Darwin Barney at second base.
So they have the leadoff man on for the first time. Big swing, and he fouled it back.
Schumacher was a stolen base threat at the minor league level. He hasn't really run much in the major leagues. Think back to the Whitey Herzog Cardinal teams that ran with reckless abandon, and then the Tony La Russa teams that kind of picked their spots. They were more of a hit and run kind of a ball club.
That's trouble. It's a fair ball into the left field corner. Soriano will pick it up. Schumacher's going to be held by Jose Oquendo, and the Cardinals have runners at second and third with no outs. And their cleanup man Beltran coming up.
Looks like Matt Holliday starting to heat up a little bit. He was very cold when we saw him in St. Louis earlier in the season. Pretty nice play here by Soriano to barehand this ball and get it back in quickly. Jose Oquendo was hoping to send Schumacher around the corner, but because Soriano got the ball into the cutoff man so quickly, he had to throw up the stop sign.
Soriano coming over, and it's right on the ledge. Not quite sure he actually got to the spot. If he had gotten there, he would have had a shot at it.
A tough one there, going full speed. You know you're getting close to that brick wall, trying to track the ball and protect yourself against the wall at the same time. That would have been a spectacular catch if he was able to make it.
So foul strike on Beltran. Cubs shifting against him as he takes strike two. Mather way off the third base line. Castro shaded up the middle. Garza needs a strikeout or two here. Ground ball's going to tie it up. That's a 2-for-1. Beltran wanted to do more damage than that, but down 0-2. He does put the ball in play. He gets Schumacher to the dish, and he gets Holliday over to third with one out.
You said it, Lenny. He wanted to do more damage than that, but the good run producers in the game will find a way to pick up at least one of those RBIs in that situation. And with the Cubs playing their infield back, he's hoping to get an out in that situation. An easy ground ball to second base ties it up.
Blocked by Soto. The infield is in. Tie game, 1-1 in the fourth.
That was one of those breaking balls in the dirt that tried to get underneath the mask of Giovanni Soto. Climbs up his chest protector, hits off that little throat extension at the bottom of the mask. That's why you've heard me say it before, chin on chest. If you put your chin on the chest, you will protect that throat area. You'll be in a much better blocking position.
1-0 to Freeze. I think that hit him on the hand. Ooh, that's a dangerous spot. And the Cubs are going to argue that it got the bat.
Based on David Freese's reaction, I think it got all hand, and it didn't appear like he swung at that pitch. He started the bat, but then stopped it right there.
I think it did hit the bat, but it hit his hand first. It kind of had to hit the bat the way he reacted, but I think you're right. Does set up a possible double play chance, but does add another base runner. And here's Yadier Molina. And as you mentioned, Bob, this is a spot where Molina definitely likes to go the other way.
And it's set up well for him, too, with that big hole on the right side of the infield. He will ground into his share of double plays. As you can imagine, he's not a very swift base runner. 3 times this year already he's bounced into double plays.
Fastball tails inside. 1-0 the count. Single, double, ground out, hit batter. Down the right field line, but it twists out of play, or at least foul. 1-1.
Really, when you think about it, Len, as an offensive approach in this particular situation, you should want to hit that ball to the right side. You got the hole to work with, first of all. If you do happen to hit the ball right at Darwin Varney, it's unlikely that that's going to be an easy double play turn. You can see how far away from the bag STARLIN Castro is. I mean, everything would be in your favor as a hitter to try to work that ball to the right side of the field here. Talked about it many times in the past. That 84 Cubs team, as an opponent playing against them, they were as good as any team I ever saw of taking advantage of situational hitting. Where are the holes in the defense? Where is it going to be tougher for the defense to turn a double play if I hit the ball? And then they would go up there, and more often than not, they would execute exactly what they wanted to do.
This is going to give the Cardinals the lead. Holiday tagging Freeze. He's going to hold it first, and Molina with a sacrifice fly makes it 2-1.
It's a lazy fly ball to the big part of the ballpark. Plenty deep enough to get the run home from third base. You'll see Holiday goes back to tag immediately. As David Freese saw that ball was going to be caught by Reed Johnson. He too went back to tag up at first base, but Reed hustled it back into STARLIN Castro quickly to hold him at first.
So the 2 outs in this inning have resulted in runs. The ground out by Beltran, the sac fly by Molina. And it's Matt Carpenter. And he showed bunt, and by the time he squared around, I think both feet were out of the batter's box. Swing and a miss, 1-1.
Technically, the batter has to have both feet within the batter's box. Now, his heel is on the line, which technically means he is inside the batter's box, but it almost looked like his toe was on the plate. Not sure how to call that one. that was just a maneuver to try to open some holes defensively, show that bunt with no intention of trying to bunt for a base hit.
Short lead by Freeze at first, and the fastball is a little bit outside. 3-1. Tyler Greene on deck. And the second walk issued by Garza. They've both been to Carpenter.
Everything up and away in this sequence with the exception of the second pitch. That one strays too far off that outside corner. Carpenter getting a real good look at Matt Garza here tonight.
The Yankees are giving the Rangers a taste of their own medicine tonight. 7-2 New York in the bottom of the 7th in Texas. Derek Jeter is 4 for 4. A-Rod hit a 3-run homer. It went an estimated 419 feet. It was his 287th in a Yankee uniform, so he's tied on the all-time Yankee list with Bernie Williams for 6th place.
With a 7-2 lead late, do you think Joe Girardi and the Yankees feel good about that down in Arlington?
I wouldn't. No. Well, they do have CC on the mound, so that helps.
That helps. And they have Mariano Rivera in the bullpen if necessary, but boy, that Texas team, they can pound the ball.
It's outside. 2-2. Gets right through the legs of Soto and rattles around behind the plate.
It is time for the Stanley Cup playoffs. Sneaks through the 5-hole. You see Gio comes up just enough with the glove to give that ball room to get underneath all the way to the bricks.
So a wild pitch, and now second and third. Garza stays from the stretch for this 3-2. Bases loaded. Before that Yankee Ranger game tonight, Pudge Rodriguez officially announced his retirement. 14 times he was an All-Star, 13 Gold Gloves as a catcher, was the MVP in the American League in 1999. He told a story from an intra-squad game in spring training when he hit a home run off Nolan Ryan. So his next at bat, of course, Nolan hit him.
What a shock.
Fly ball right field, and David DeJesus will make the catch to end the inning. But the Cardinals get the lead with a couple of runs. It's now 2-1 St. Louis. .com At-Bat 12 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, and Windows Mobile. Get live audio, pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text At-Bat to 31826 or visit Cubs.com for details. As we check in on our Menards grounds crew, taking care of that infield dirt, beautifully manicured. Cardinals now with a 2-1 lead after getting a couple on Matt Garza in the top of this inning. So STARLIN CASTRO will lead it off for the Cubs. And he takes ball one. Two 0 on the way. That's a strike on a changeup. Curveball low, 3-1. Soriano, then Baker. All righties. In fact, only one left-handed hitter in the lineup. That's the leadoff man, DeJesus, and a fly ball out to Schumacher in center. You know what we haven't seen on this homestand, Bob, by anybody? A home run.
Yeah. We've seen plenty of balls that were hit hard enough to leave the ballpark. They just could not get out of here with that stiff wind blowing out of the north. STARLIN CASTRO should have had a couple of home runs in that last series against the Reds. A couple of deep drives right up against the wall in left field. Would have been way out onto Waveland Avenue.
Cubs have not homered in 8 consecutive games. Freeze to Carpenter, and Soriano is out.
Well, a quick inning is not what Matt Garza needed here after throwing 28 pitches in that top half of the inning. Really had to labor. I'd like to see him get a little bit of a breather in that third base dugout, but 2 quick outs here in the bottom half of the inning.
Sixth start of the year for Jeff Baker at first.
That's taking one for the team right there. When the guy in front of you in the order makes a quick out the way ALFONSO Soriano did, and it looks like it's going to be a quick 1-2-3, and Baker just did get time out there. You've got to take until you get a strike. That third batter in the inning. You do not want to have a quick 4 or 5 pitch inning and force your pitcher right back out to the mound after he struggled in the half inning before.
This will be a very quick 1-2-3 inning. So Garcia now with a 2-1 lead, and Matt Garza right back out to the mound in the 5th. AT&T Mobility trivia question. Since 1900, who has the most hits in their first 300 games with the Cubs? Starlin CASTRO is in his 300th game as a Cub. That's a good question. So we get into the fifth, and Rafael Furcal leads it off. In case you're wondering, through 299 career games, CASTRO with 369 hits. That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. That's really good. That's what he does. He's a hitter. Gets a bat on a ball. More often than not, finds holes in the defense.
And a base hit for Call. Slaps one past Joe Mathern into left. Qdoba is giving the first 20,000 fans the chance to win free food if the Cubs get a base hit in the fifth inning. Fans with a base hit for burritos game card win a free entree.
Free food. See how Mike Matheny, the Cardinal manager, chooses to play it here with a one-run lead in the ball game. Has a very accomplished bunter at the plate. Good speed on it first. Walker, as Len mentioned in his last at bat, also a severe ground ball hitter. Could be an opportunity to play some hit and run.
Mike Matheny is the youngest active manager in the big leagues at 41 years old.
Well, and there are those that would say that for the last 4 or 5 years of his playing career, he was already thinking about managing and thinking like a manager. It's a little bit different when you're behind the plate thinking like a manager, and when you're actually the manager and you are accountable for the things that happen on the field, the strategies that you employ, the pitching changes that you make, the lineups you fill out on a daily basis.
It's a pretty good start right there for a first-year skipper. Well, what a difference, isn't it, when you get that leadoff guy? Cardinals' scoring inning was the fourth when the first two reached, and they have the leadoff man on yet again. And Furcal just faked towards second. Barney will spin, get one, no relay throw. Fielder's choice for Schumacher.
That's one particular situation, Len, where Furcal bluffing over there at first base tipped off Darwin Barney that he had enough time to get the lead man. Not only that, but Furcal had to jump over the ball as he was advancing onto second base. So good decision by Darwin Barney to wheel around, fire to Castro, get the lead runner. If you can complete the double play, that's a bonus. But now you have the double play in order once again.
Holiday already 2 for 2 with a double and a run.
And of all the Cardinals hitters, Holiday looks like he can get to that inside Matt Garza fastball.
That caught the outside corner, 1-1.
Talked about that high leg kick that he features with the left foot as Matt Garza is delivering the ball to home plate. And I mentioned earlier, it's a very fine line. Getting it down too early, getting it down too late, but his timing has appeared to be pretty good his first 2 at-bats.
And Schumacher takes off. Garza to Barney to Baker. Tag applied. It wasn't the prettiest play I've ever seen, but Matt Garza did step off in time, didn't balk, and they get him.
Yeah, that was the key. He steps off, and now he becomes an infielder. That's the scary part. Anytime Matt Garza has to throw the ball overhand other than delivering a pitch, he has no idea where it's going.
So just like that, 2 outs. And the base is empty and a 1-1 count on Holiday. Deep breath by Garza. It's like Gio wants a slider here on the 2-1.
Another borderline pitch on that outside corner. Might have been up a little more than Matt Garza wanted, but looked like it might have caught that corner according to pitch tracks. Borderline strike.
Lined into center. Reed Johnson with a shoestring catch to end the inning. Nicely done. Pitcher's duel from Wrigley. 2-1 Cardinals. All right, Camp, thanks very much. Cubs trailing 2-1. They got their run in the first as Soto grounds one foul. Not much margin for error. The Cardinals, one of the best teams in baseball, off to a great start and a good pitcher's duel here.
Really good pitcher's duel. Matt Garza's thrown the ball extremely well. Ran into some problems there in that top half of the fourth inning, but still featuring some really good stuff. Came back after a very short bottom half of that inning.
Yeah, drop by Furcal and an error. See if the Cubs could take advantage. We saw a ton of defensive miscues on both sides over the weekend against the Reds.
I mentioned earlier in the show the Cardinals were leading the National League for fewest errors with 8 on the season. This will be number 9 as Furcal to backhand that ball. Giovanni Soto running down that first baseline probably had plenty of time to step around in front and crow hop across the diamond and make his throw, but chooses to go to the backhand and can't play it cleanly.
Here's Reed Johnson. Grounded out his first time up. And a one bouncer for Call gets another chance, and they turn 2. Scalded by Johnson on one hop to Furcal, and that's exactly what a veteran infielder wants after committing an error. Hit it to me again.
You're right. Reed Johnson hit it right on the nose. Unfortunately, right at Furcal, who stabs that high bouncer out of midair. Cardinals turn it into a really quick double play, and we're on the verge of another real fast Cubs inning here.
Now they're really taking his time getting ready to hit. Garcia was chopping at the bit to throw a pitch. Ball 1.
I mean, if you can't be patient enough to take some pitches in the at-bat, do something else. Tie your shoe, get something in your eye, somehow extend this inning a little bit more.
Nasty changeup, 1-1. Well, the Cubs again tonight. Not hitting for power. 3 hits, they've all been singles. 2 of them in the first inning were infield hits.
I think we're going to see one tonight, though. And this kind of night, the ball will jump. You get it up in the air with some authority. No wind at all right now. Question is, will Jaime Garcia make some mistakes that the Cubs can elevate?
And ball 4. A little bit of a workaround situation. A lot of changeups in that sequence. Garza will head to the batter's box.
And once again, in keeping with the theme of extending this bottom half of the inning, personally, I'd like to see Matt Garza take until he gets a strike. He's probably not going to hit anything that's going to score Joe Mather from first base. So try to make Jaime Garcia throw as many pitches as you can see in this at bat.
And after ball 1. An error, a double play, and then a 2-out walk. And a 1-1 pitch to Garza. Bounced into right. Late swing, and it worked out well as he found the hole on the right side.
Sometimes the worst swings get the best results. Just pounded that ball down into the ground to the right side of the field, but fortunately for Matt Garza and the Cubs, you see Carpenter holding on. Joe Mather at first has no range to get to that bouncer. It gets through for a base hit.
If you're wondering, for Matt Garza, that is his 7th career hit. In his 84th official at bat. And a curveball catches the outside corner for a strike to DeJesus. I'm overstating it, Bob, to say that for Matt Garza, in terms of all around hitting, defense, and he hasn't pitched that badly tonight. This might be his best overall game when you consider how much he has struggled with the other facets. Mather was dancing off second, and Garcia stepped off. He's expecting Matt to be a Silver Slugger winner at the plate or a Gold Glover on the mound, but just make the routine plays, get the bunts down, and tonight he has done that.
Like any player at any level, you want to get better. It doesn't matter what you've achieved in your career, if you've been an MVP in the league or Cy Young winner on the mound. You have to feel like there are always things you can improve upon. And Matt showed us last year he had some things that he needed to improve upon, and he's working very hard on them.
DeJesus strikes out. The Cubs leave 2, an error, a walk, a hit, no runs. Off to the 6th. Still Cardinals 2, Cubs 1. And for tonight's AT&T mobility question, we'll answer it. Since 1900, who has the most hits in the first 300 games as a Cub? I can't say I've ever heard of Jigger Stats. Have you?
No, but he put up some good stats.
Yes, he did. So did Rogers Hornsby, who would later go to the Hall of Fame. Bill Madlock, Billy Herman, and there's Starlin Castro.
You combine Rick Stevenson with Jigger Stats, you'd have Rick's Stats.
I like Stats, S-T-A-T-Z. That's a good baseball name. Well, when Starlin Castro starts putting himself amongst a group of guys we've never heard of, that's usually pretty good, because that means they played a long time ago. So Garza tries to keep the Cardinals right where they are. By the way, Jigger Stats was from Waukegan, Illinois. Played in the big leagues from 1919 to 1928. We are looking up his splits against Jamie Moyer. His full name was Arnold John Stats. Bobby was 5'7", 150 pounds. He played center field for the Giants, the Braves, the Cubs, and the Dodgers. So now you know.
Now you know.
Well, I'm looking at it here. 8 years at 285. And a ton of hits early on with the Cubs. There's lefty James Russell up in the Cubs bullpen. High fly ball for Reed Johnson in center. He puts up the right hand, telling Soriano, I've got it, and he does.
Time to take a look at our Coors Light Freeze cam, appropriately enough, involving David Freeze. That hit by pitch, somewhat controversial. Cubs thought it might have hit the bat. Home plate umpire Tim Sheeta said no, it got him on the hand. Painful way to reach first base.
Slider called strike. Well hit down the right field line, but slicing fouled. Philip Umber, as you would imagine, was the American League Player of the Week.
Why?
After his perfect game on Saturday, called strike three.
Won't be a perfect game for Matt Garza tonight, but that's a perfect pitch right there. Nasty slider, good downward movement for a called strike three on a very dangerous Cardinal hitter.
Freddie Freeman of the Braves, 11 hits, 3 homers, 14 RBIs as the Braves won 5 of 6 last week. He's the National League Player of the Week. Two strikes on Yadier Molina. A hop that's backhanded by Castro, and that's the inning. A 1-2-3 sixth. Still 2-1 St. Louis.
Wednesday, Bulls basketball is on Comcast Sportsnet. Don't miss a minute of the action as D. Rose and the crew look to take down the pesky Pacers in Indy. Coverage begins at 5:30 with McDonald's Bulls pregame live. Bulls Pacers Wednesday night at 5:30 only on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend.
Jaime Garcia holding the Cubs to just one run through 5. He has a 2-1 lead. Then a called strike on a fastball to Darwin Barney. Beautiful. What a beautiful night. Bounced up the middle. Base hit. Second of the night for Barney.
Very well placed bouncer by Darwin Barney. Off that hard dirt out in front of home plate. Rafael Furcal, the shortstop, you can see is shading a couple steps toward the hole. And that one will trickle through for his second base hit of the game for Darwin Barney.
Fastball low and away to Castro. Extended his hitting streak to 11 in that first inning single. Cubs have averaged 6.7 runs per win. Under 3 in their losses. 6, 4, 3, dug out by Carpenter. Boy, double play balls have been a huge friend to Jaime Garcia. In his last start in Cincinnati, he got 4 of them. And tonight, double plays in back-to-back innings in the 5th and 6th.
Boy, and you really have to give a lot of the credit to second baseman Tyler Greene on this particular double play. First shot we showed you, Rafael Furcal could not get the ball out of his glove. A very slow flip onto second base. Tyler Greene knew that Darwin Barney was going to be right on top of him, and he still turns the double play. All about timing these double plays, and normally a play like this, that will be enough to ruin the timing, and you won't be able to get the guy at first. But Tyler Greene hung in there, took the hit, made a strong throw on to first for the out.
Kick in the 1-2, fouled back by Alfonso. Coming up a little later on, the 7th inning stretch, Howard Moore, UIC head men's basketball coach, will conduct the stretch. Pop fly out into right. And Beltran with a catch. Still 2-1. We head off to the 7th from the friendly confines. Present the first ever social media night at Wrigley Field on Wednesday, May 16th against the Phillies. Your Budweiser bleacher ticket includes a gift bag with a pack of social media baseball cards, often including a player autograph and a pregame panel featuring Bears kicker Robbie Gould. For more info and to purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com/special events. Bottom three for the Redbirds, starting with Matt Carpenter. Jaime Garcia has been very efficient, only 65 pitches through 6 innings. 45 of those have been strikes. And with his team leading, nobody up in the bullpen, he'll probably take his at bat here as Carpenter grounds out. Now Greene, the number 8 hitter. It's very quiet in the Cardinal pen, but James Russell still throwing in the Cubs bullpen.
Second baseman number 27, Tyler Greene.
Ooh, that one right past him for a strike. Lofted to right. DeJesus will get it. So 2 quick outs. That'll bring up Garcia and Howard Moore. UIC basketball coach coming up with our 7th inning stretch.
Pitcher number 54, Jaime Garcia.
Cubs' next opponent, the Philadelphia Phillies. They're in Arizona tonight. The Diamondbacks got 3 in the bottom of the first off Kyle Kendrick. 4-game series starting Friday night in Philly. 5-time defending NL East champs right now with Cliff Lee, Brian Howard, and Chase Utley all on the DL. And they're in last in their division at 7-9. Mentioned the Giants beat the Mets earlier today 6-1 in the first of a doubleheader. Well, they're leading 7-1 in the nightcap. Nate Scherholtz has had a huge day. He's got 2 triples in the doubleheader. 1 in the first game, 1 in the second.
Garcia just looks like a hitter. The way he digs around in the batter's box, knocks the dirt out of his cleats. Looks like he's very comfortable in that left-handed batter's box.
Garza trying to put him away inside on a fastball. 2-2.
I mean, some guys you can tell without even knowing that it's a pitcher at the plate, just by the way they take their at bat, the way they get in the batter's box.
Swing and a miss. Time for the Captain Morgan 7th inning stretch.
Tonight's guest conductor for Take Me Out to the Ball Game, UIC men's basketball coach Howard Moore.
All right, Cub fans, let me hear you. A 1, a 2, a 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back, for it's root for the. If they don't win, it's a shame, for it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Let's go, Cubbies. Let's get some runs. Go Blackhawks.
Great job by Howard Moore, the head men's basketball coach at UIC, University of Illinois, Chicago. Got a nice singing voice.
Well, thank you. It's obviously my wife doesn't allow me to do that very much at home, so I had to take the opportunity to do it in front of a few thousand fans.
Chicago native. And you've been an assistant coach at other places, but I'm sure it's good to be home, right?
It's great to be home. You know, to be a head coach, to do what I've dreamt of doing for a long period of time, and to do it in front of my home friends, family, you know, just everyone I care about. It's great.
1-2 on Jeff Baker.
And the word is you're going to recruit heavily in your hometown, right?
Absolutely.
You want to hit Chicago.
Absolutely.
A lot of good ball players
in
here.
Illinois. You know, just the whole state. You know, I spent 4 years of my career down in Peoria at Bradley. Built some great ties down there.
David Freeze will get Baker. Jeff has grounded out 3 times. And let's check out the ceremonial first pitch.
Uh-oh.
All right. How did it feel?
It felt good. You know, I think I got killed on Twitter by stepping in front of the mound. I wasn't too concerned about where I was position-wise. I was just trying to get it to the plate.
Well, you did.
All right. Miss Illinois showed me up in a lot of ways, more ways than one. So just trying to do my part.
Swing and a miss on a changeup by Soto. Tell us about your program.
Well, you know, we're going into our 3rd year, and you know, we're trying to establish a winning tradition. Again, you know, Coach Collins did a great job in the late 90s, early 2000s, and now we're trying to reestablish those winning ways at UIC. And we're getting closer. You know, we had a great recruiting class. This will be our 2nd class coming in this year. And we've got 5 guys signed, and we're looking to bring in a couple more here late. And we're really excited about the possibilities for next season.
1-2 on Soto. The Cubs have trailed since the Cardinals got 2 runs in the 4th inning. The dirt 2-2. Well, we've got to ask you from Chicago, Cubs fan, White Sox fan growing up. You're wearing a Cubs jersey, just remember.
Yeah, I know. Growing up, loved both. I don't know if you got in the 80s, there was this thing where the Sox had this program where if you got perfect attendance in public schools, you would get free White Sox tickets. They sucked me in. That's how they got me. It was tough to get a ticket here in the 80s, man. So, you know, became a very avid Sox fan, but you know, never hated the Cubs and always liked guys like Jody Davis and Ryan Sandberg. You know, Leon Durham was my guy. That was my inspiration of growing a goatee when I got older and I could get some facial hair because I thought Leon Durham had the coolest goatee ever. So, yeah.
Reed Johnson will tap it foul. Well, Coach Moore, thanks for stopping by. We appreciate it very much. And best of luck in 2012 with the Flames.
Thank you very much for having me. All right. Good to see you guys.
Good luck, Coach.
Thank you.
Howard Moore, great job with the 7th inning stretch tonight. Coach is leaving us some gifts, partner.
Uh-oh.
Let's check it out here. There you go.
Flames, I like it.
Very nice. Extra large, this one's for you. The 0-2. Swing and a miss. That changeup has been filthy. Through 7. Still 2-1. Cardinals. Customers and guests this summer, why not bring them to the ballpark? The new Nuveen Investment Suites can accommodate anywhere from 15 to 55 guests and include food, beverage, and parking. To book your premier experience at the ballpark, visit Cubs.com/suites or call 773-404-4200. James Russell, the left-hander, is on, as the Cardinals will have the top of their order here in the 8th. Garza was good tonight, Bob.
Yeah, he was good. Just had that little hiccup in the 4th inning. Gave up the back-to-back hits to start the inning. Hit David Freese later in the inning. Looked like he might be able to escape, but you got to score more than 1 run. Give your pitcher a chance.
Got 2 runs in 7 innings. You'd take that from every starter.
Every day.
And Mike Matheny hasn't had to think a whole lot about going to his bullpen. His starter has been excellent tonight and getting quick outs. This is trouble. It's going to land foul. Baker could not get to it. I don't know if there's any such thing as a soft landing, Bob, when you've never managed before. And you get to this level if you're Mike Matheny. But this is about as an ideal a situation as you can be in. Now, he is replacing Tony La Russa, but he's got a very good roster. And just talking to people around the Cardinals, they've been ahead so much, he hasn't had to make a lot of terribly difficult decisions early on. That will change at some point.
Oh, yeah, it will change. And occasionally those decisions are going to backfire. Not because it's the wrong decision, just because on occasion the players aren't going to come through. the way you expect them to, or the way you want them to, or the way the numbers say they should. And that's when the test of a manager really begins. When you start getting second guessed by the fans and the talk show radio and some of the members of the media. As long as your own players aren't second guessing you. And so far it sounds like the Cardinals are very happy with their new skipper, a very relaxed atmosphere. And once again, it's hard not to be relaxed when you're playing good baseball.
Mike would be the first to tell you, you win with good players, and they've got a lot of good ones. And a couple banged up on the DL. Not only Lance Berkman, but Chris Carpenter. Alan Craig, key guy last year's out with a right knee injury. Scott Linebrink. And a big cut and a miss by Furcal for the strikeout. Hey fans, next time you want to catch a Cubs game, head to StubHub, where you'll find the seats you want and the freedom to choose where you want to sit. StubHub is the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Chicago Cubs. For more information, visit Cubs.com/StubHub. Shane Robinson is going to hit for Schumacher.
Very early on, but Shane Robinson has taken to this role as a pinch hitter very nicely for the Cardinals. 3 for 7 on the season with a run driven in.
2-0. Now leads the Cardinals in pinch hit at bats. This is his 8th. It's right down the middle on a fastball from Russell. 2-1. James was a 14th round pick in 2007. Laced foul. Three and 2 with Matt Holliday on deck. Those are those numbers Bob was talking about off the bench. He draws the walk.
Left fielder, Matt Holliday.
Holliday's had a good night, and the out he made was a hard line out to center.
It took a great play by Reed Johnson out there making a shoestring catch on that sinking line drive to retire him.
Rafael Dolis cranking it up in the Cubs bullpen with Lester Strode watching. Lester has about 7 jackets on, it appears.
This is not his first rodeo. Come prepared. You can always take one of them off.
Two and 1 to Holliday. Yankees beat the Rangers 7-4 in Arlington tonight. Derek Jeter 4 for 5. His average .411. CC Sabathia went 8 innings to improve to 2-0. Mariano Rivera got his 4th save of the year. It's only the 4th loss for the Rangers. Two.
You lead your league in batting average, team ERA, make the 2nd fewest errors in the league. Figures to lead to that many wins early in the season.
The Rangers were up 5.5 games in the 2nd place team, the A's, starting action tonight. Our AT&T Uverse multi-view. Robinson the runner at first. Full count on the batter Holiday. Gonna throw over there. Brewers lead the Astros 6-2 in the bottom of the 6th in Milwaukee. Jed Lowry with a home run for the Astros. Ryan Braun with his 3rd. Slow start for Aramis Ramirez. Even after a 1-for-3 start to the game tonight, he's hitting .167 as Holiday held. That's ball 4.
Holiday was pretty sure he didn't go. He immediately started running out of that batter's box, and it appears he was able to check his swing. James Russell was hoping to get the call.
And hopefully you don't read lips. We're going to have a double switch. Dolis coming in along with Tony Campana. It's a Honda call to the pen. 2 on with 1 out in the 8th. 2-1 St. Louis. A call to the pen. Rookie righty Rafael Dolis will appear in his 7th game tonight. You see the walks to strikeouts. That's the thing you'd like to reverse. speedy Tony Campana comes into play center as well as part of the double switch.
I don't know that Rafael Dolis will ever be a big-time strikeout pitcher, but he definitely has to cut down on the walks.
2 on for Beltran. Takes the sinker just below the knees. Ball 1. Robinson, the lead man at second. Holiday at first. Both walked against James Russell. And a soft liner caught by Castro. Double play easily, as Robinson was already around third when Barney tagged the bag. Inning over. 2-1. Cap, thank you. Another changeup, getting a swing and a miss from a Cubs batter. Jaime Garcia has used that pitch all night, and it's been effective. 1 strike on Joe Mather. And the new Cardinals center fielder Shane Robinson will make the catch as Mather flies out. 1 away here in the 8th, still 2-1 St. Louis.
Time to take a look at our Home Depot doing more on defense. That double play to end the top half of the 8th. Nice job by Starlin Castro to time his jump. How many times you see that infielder leave his feet too soon, come back down to the ground, the ball gets over him. But that time Castro timed it perfectly, tosses on to Darwin Barney to complete the double play.
Tony Campana squares to bunt, takes a strike. Appearing in his third consecutive game since being recalled prior to Saturday from Iowa. He started yesterday, and a base hit. I know you got a left-hander on the mound. You've got Yadier Molina behind the plate, Bob, but I think you gotta get Campana moving here, because the Cubs still without an extra base hit.
Really, the determining factor is going to be the kind of lead that Tony Campana can get over there at first base against Jaime Garcia, and the kind of read he can get. Ideally, Tony gets a big enough lead to force Garcia to throw to first base so he can get a look at that pickoff move. Outstanding. That's exactly what you want as a base stealer. You want to see that move to first base, and you want to see a delivery to the plate, and ideally you find something different between the two that allows you to get a good jump.
Campana is so fast. if he goes on first movement in the right spot, even if Garcia throws to first, he could beat that relay throw. Couple of steps before stopping, and DeJesus took a strike.
You can expect Garcia is going to use the slide step when he does deliver the ball to home plate.
Oh, and 2.
Something a pitcher can do to counteract that speed at first base. Unload the ball to home plate quickly. That time Garcia picks up that front leg, quickly strides toward home plate. Tough to get a jump. That's the wild card right there. A guy that has a good step off, pick off move. That time Garcia did not throw the ball to first base, but Cub fans probably familiar with Terry Mulholland, the left-handed pitcher that had a tremendous step off move for a left-handed pitcher. Yadier Molina giving the signs to his pitcher out there on the mound. He's been rubbing the right hand inside the right thigh before he gives signs. That's usually the indicator that he wants. Right there, slide step. And now he's going to give the pitch that he wants Jaime Garcia to throw.
Campana still not running, and a pick to first. Campana back. The Cardinals were arguing that DeJesus got in the way. Garcia was asking home plate umpire Tim Cheetah about something. At any rate, 1 and 2.
Didn't see the sign for the slide step that time. Garcia just may be so programmed. A little bit bigger leg kick that time.
Foul tip. 2 down.
Second baseman number 15,
Tailing fastball on that inside corner. Just enough movement to get it underneath the bat of David DeJesus.
Matheny is out to the mound. He's got Mitchell Boggs in the bullpen, and Boggs coming into the game. Garcia was tremendous tonight. The Honda call to the pen. 2 down in the 8th, 2-1 for the visitors.
Cubs season, including the next 2 games against the division rival St. Louis Cardinals. To purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com, call 1-800-THE-CUBS, or visit the Wrigley Field box office.
Another Honda call to the pen. Here's Mitchell Boggs.
Really good numbers for Mitchell Boggs this season, but in a roundabout way, this is a huge favor for the Cubs here. Mitchell Boggs, being a right-handed pitcher, should be much easier for Tony Campana to get a jump over there at first base as opposed to the left-hander Jaime Garcia.
And maybe the biggest favor is just not having to have to face Garcia. He was really good tonight. Campana not running, and a first pitch fastball for strike 1. He was leaning, and he's barely safe. He was going to go. If there's any question.
Yep. He was out into no man's land. Fortunately, Boggs' pickoff attempt to Matt Carpenter at first was a high throw, giving Tony just enough room to get underneath the tag. You see, he has to reach up above the shoulders. By the time he gets the tag down, Campana's on the bag.
Campana not running. 1-1. Cat and mouse here, waiting to see if the Cardinals will pitch out. Because of that strike 1, Dale Swain might have thought, well, they may pitch out here. So Campana was not going.
It's like another pickoff attempt. Tony read that one a lot better, able to get back easily.
There he goes this time, and Barney fouls it back to the screen.
Jump that time. It would be tough to throw him out with this kind of jump and his kind of speed, but Darwin Barney saw a pitch up in the zone to his liking, took a shot at it, unfortunately fouled it straight back.
Campana runs again, and Barney fouled it off.
Yeah, with 2 strikes, Darwin no longer has the luxury of taking a pitch and giving Tony an opportunity to steal second base. You've got to swing at anything close to that strike zone. The slider was too close to the outside corner to take.
Campana runs, they pitch out. And where's the ball? On the ground. So it looked like the tag was applied. The problem for Tyler Greene, he didn't have the ball.
Big time break for the Cubs. Yadier Molina threw a laser beam down there to second base, right on the bag, but Campana streaking in. See, that ball never really stayed in the glove.
It's tonight's high-speed action. Don't blink, you'll miss him. They He still almost got him.
Now that actually short hopped into the glove of Tyler Greene, which is why he didn't catch it cleanly. And then as Tony comes sliding in, he knocks it further away. Now a base hit.
Meanwhile, 2-2 on Darwin Barney. Campana runs to third. He'll get that bag as the slider missed flowing outside. 3-2. We're going to give you a third. Take it.
Yeah, all the attention paid to Tony Campana at first base. Boggs pays no attention to him at second.
First Cub to reach third since Barney scored in the first inning. And they get on their feet for a 3-2 pitch. He walked him. Here comes Castro. Here we go. A strike. Castro is 3 for 4 versus Mitchell Boggs. All singles.
Castro has been one of the Cubs' most consistent hitters with runners in scoring position this year. 444 on the season, including 4 for 9 with 2 outs and runners in scoring position.
Be interesting to see how Boggs handles him here. The guy on deck, Alfonso Soriano, is 0 for 9 against Boggs with 7 strikeouts. He's had a lot more success against him than Castro, who bounces to short. For call's going to charge, and that's the inning. Boggs pops his mitt as he yells to the heavens after getting out of it. 2-1.
On Sportsnet Central, presented by CLR. Coming up at midnight, a complete recap of all the day's baseball action, plus highlights and post-game reaction from Game 6 between the Hawks and the Coyotes. Join Chuck Garfien for Sportsnet Central, presented by CLR, tonight at midnight only on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend.
Well, we start the ninth. David Freeze will lead off for St. Louis. Cubs with a chance. First and third with their best hitter at the plate, but Castro grounded out. And Rafael Dolis continues on. Ball one on Freeze.
Those are Jason Mott beginning to move around down in that Cardinals bullpen. We'll start throwing in earnest here shortly.
Both clubs with former catchers as closers, Marmol and Mott. And Dolis is a converted position player as well.
That's really where the similarity ends between Marmol and Mott, however. Marmol throws a lot of sliders. Mott throws nothing but fastballs. Cut it. He'll try to sink it from time to time, but you're not going to see him try to flip a breaking ball up there to get ahead in the count.
Be an infield hit. David Freeze, big swing, and he hit it about 30 feet.
The old swing and bunt. Boy, what a valuable offensive weapon when you have two strikes. That third baseman backs up as deep as he can play. Freeze takes a full swing and taps the ball about 40 feet down the third baseline for an infield hit. It took Joe Mather a good 5 or 6 steps just to get to the baseline. That's how deep he was playing at third base with 2 strikes on a right-handed pull hitter.
I want to send out happy 28th birthday wishes to Kevin Marchina, Crown Point, Indiana, big Cub fan. Hoping his team can come back here in the ninth. Runner goes. Molina with a fly out to right. Freeze headed back toward first. The throw there, and plenty of time to double him off. Lost his footing a little bit as he got near second base and did not have time to get back.
Just the way you draw it up. See Freeze on the move. Yadier Molina with a line drive, forcing David DeJesus back a couple of steps. He recovers quickly. Perfect throw on a hop to Jeff Baker to complete the double play.
So the Cubs have bounced into 2 6-4-3 double plays, while the Cardinals have lined into a couple of twin killings. And it's Carpenter who's 0 for 1, but has walked twice.
Also like to send a shout out, Len, to Andy Capilano from Round Lake Beach, Illinois. Wrote a nice letter today. Thank you, Andy.
One and two. Soriano comes in, and he will lead off the bottom of the ninth against the Cardinals closer Jason Mott in a 1-run game. who took the lead with a first inning run but have not scored since. Daniel Descalzo comes in as part of a double switch. He'll play first base. And the new pitcher is hard throwing right-hander Jason Mott. By the way, in the big leagues, Daniel Descalzo has played a grand total of 2 innings at first base. He's played all the other infield spots. And the first pitch to Soriano is up and in. A Midwesterner by birth from Port Huron, Michigan. Went to high school in New York and later attended Iona College.
I mentioned he doesn't throw breaking balls very often, and why would you? His fastball consistently sits in the mid to upper 90s. He will throw an occasional cutter, try to move it away from the right-handed batter into a lefty. More often than not, you're going to get a four-seamer up high in the zone with a little smoke on it.
In the playoffs last year, he went a perfect 5 for 5 in save chances. Got the final out in Game 7 versus the Rangers.
Cutter at 92. His four-seam fastball we've seen already in this game, 97, 98.
Soriano with the most previous experience against Mott, 9 plate appearances, 8 at bats. 2-2. And he struck him out, 98 on the gun.
You mentioned Mott's background as a catcher, converted to a closer, a relief pitcher. Has that short arm delivery that you're used to seeing from a catcher. Doesn't have that long arm stroke out behind his back before delivering the ball to home plate. Catchers are taught when you receive a pitch and try to throw out a runner on the bases, you catch that ball, put it up near your ear, and throw from right there.
Brian LaHare will bat for Jeff Baker.
Number 6, Brian LaHare.
I had a feeling a Cub might connect tonight. This would be the best opportunity. Although Mott gave up 2 homers in 68 innings last year, 1 so far this season. And LaHare with a big swing and a miss. Molina and Mott, it's almost like, let's see who can throw it harder. A little bit away. 2-1.
Brian LaHare has tremendous opposite field power. That's one thing you have to keep in mind. You don't have to pull the ball against Jason Mott. Just get the barrel on it.
He's going to shorten up here on 2-2.
I don't think so.
I don't either. Here it is. Full count. Trying to think who might pinch run for LaHare, if that's a possibility, if he gets on. I think if he gets in scoring position, it would be Jeff Samardzija. Thinking about a Cubs starting pitcher Dale Swain would think about using. Getting ready for another 3-2 pitch.
Tough pitch to get a piece of right there after working away. Mott comes way inside. LaHare just able to get a piece. Getting a little better look at Jason Mott. He's not coming quite close enough yet to square it up, but he's been able to foul off some tough 97 and 98 mile-an-hour fastballs. That one off the plate a good 4 or 5 inches, but Brian LaHare able to stay alive once again, hoping that Mott's going to make some kind of mistake.
As you said, by and large, Mott doesn't like the soft stuff. He just throws it hard. So if you can time him and get into a count like this, you don't really have to worry about a split or something way off speed.
Nope. Just have to hope he puts it in a location where you can get the barrel of the bat on it. With a hit right there, an elevated fastball catches a lot of plate because of that velocity at 96. Brian just under it a little bit.
Getting ready for the 12th pitch of this at bat.
Another four-seamer.
Ball 4.
Great battle right there. One thing we've learned about Brian LaHare in his short time in the major leagues is he can hit a fastball. He's not afraid to be challenged by Jason Mott or Aroldis Chapman or anybody who throws the ball extremely hard.
Here's Soto with Steve Clevenger now on deck in the pitcher spot. Hasn't closed a ton. He only has 15 career saves. We mentioned how good he was in the postseason last year. 2-0.
I tell you, Len, it's unfortunate the Cubs don't have a speedier runner available on the bench, because if you watch Mott as he gets up into his set position, that left foot is pointed toward the shortstop. Very tough for him to spin around and make any kind of a pickoff move to first base.
Ball 4. Tying run now in scoring position. Mike Matheny is going to jog out and talk it over with Mott and Molina. Nobody up in the Cardinal bullpen.
I really think that Brian LaHare at bat took a lot out of Mott. He was out there just flame throwing as hard as he could let it go. Ultimately walked LaHare, then tried to throw a series of cutters to Giovanni Soto. Couldn't get any of them close to the zone.
I don't know if I'd call Steve Clevenger the secret weapon, but he is 3 for 3 lifetime as a pinch hitter. And he is 10 for 16 against right-handed pitching this season.
And he's perfectly capable of shooting those outside pitches to the opposite field. We've seen him do that on numerous occasions this year.
Straight misses by Jason Mott. Who, by the way, has never allowed an earned run to the Cubs. This is his 25th career appearance against the Cubs. And a strike, 1-1. He has absolutely dominated the Cubs since coming to the big leagues. One to Clevenger, good cut, 1-2. There's Mather on deck. Tying run at second, that's Brian LaHare. The winning run now at first, and Giovanni Soto. Not hit very hard. The throw will go to first. It goes 3-1 to Scalzo to Mott. So you have second and third, 2 outs. And Joe Mather coming up.
Like a cutter that time from Mott. Just got in enough on Clevenger. He rolls over the top. Moves both runners into scoring position here with 2 outs for Joe Mather. Another good fastball hitter.
The scenario now is if Mott gets Mather, Cardinals win. But if Mather can pick up a base hit to the outfield, the Cubs might win. Second and third with 2 outs. Strike 1. The kick, the 0-1, strike 2. They're able to hold up on a pitch way out of the strike zone.
It's tough for a hitter to catch up to a 98-mile-an-hour heater. It's also tough for a catcher to catch up to it when you miss your spot as badly as Mott did that time. Cutter away.
if Mathers should walk Tony Campana with the bases loaded. Two balls, two strikes. A tight one here at Wrigley. And the pitch. Ground ball, base hit. LaHare is in. Soto will score. Cubs win. Cubs win. Joe Mather with a game-ending two-run single. And we just voted on our GMC player of the game.
Guess who? Well, I really think some of those battling at bats, especially by Brian LaHare, took something out of Jason Motti. Hung a cut fastball over the middle of the plate to Joe Mather. Good piece of two-strike hitting. Goes right back up the middle of the field for the game winner.
So the Cubs able to hang in there. And they get the win on the Mather walk-off single. Rafael Dolis gets the win. Let's go down to Luke Stuckmeyer standing by with the hero.
Thank you, Len. Joe, walk us through that at bat, and how's it feel to do it against that team?
It feels amazing. I had a lot of good years over there, but I'm here now, and it feels good to kind of show them. Maybe they shouldn't have got rid of me, but I love being a Cub. Sorry, I don't know. It's
sorry about that.
It's all right. No heads up whatsoever.
It was a slider he threw you?
Yeah, a little slider. He throws so hard, and you got to give a lot of credit to Brian LaHare, Giovanni Soto. Those guys had amazing at bats and really set the tone for me, and he just left something over the plate.
LaHare took 12 pitches in that at bat. How does that set you up a couple batters later?
It's amazing. He put a lot of pressure on Jason and made him throw more pitches than he normally would.
That was Matt Garza got him.
Brian doesn't have that at bat. We don't win that game. He started off. Holy cow.
You may never do one of these interviews again.
I know. Thanks, guys.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Big win. Joe Mather, the big hit. Garza had a great start. Len will send it back up to you.
And Luke, Rafael Dolis gets his first major league win. Joe Mather with the big hit. Always good to beat the Cardinals, especially when a former Cardinal gets it done. Well, that's going to wrap up our coverage from here at the ballpark for Bob and our entire CSN crew. Len Kasper saying so long from Wrigley. The final score, a thriller tonight. The Cubs 3, the Cardinals 2. We're back here tomorrow night at 7 o'clock for Game 2 against St. Louis. After a quick timeout, we'll join Hawk and Steve in Oakland, where the White Sox and A's are in progress.